What a colossal yarn this is. This front page of the Oz, we've got another cracking exclusive by John Ferguson. Assassin news media pals to destroy rivals. We're going to have a look at some of these texts in a sec, mate, but explosive texts from the Federal Labor MP, who is the Deputy Head of Parliament's Intelligence Committee. That's a bit of an oxymoron. With access to national secrets, reveal he boasted about using the media to destroy enemies and exact political retribution. The Australian can reveal Victorian Federal Labor MP Anthony Byrne texted a political colleague saying he was going to meet a reporter to destroy a guy's, in brackets, sick career. The leaked text also raised questions about national security issues, with Mr Byrne revealing to colleagues he was working with the ABC's current affairs flagship Four Corners on a story about China. Now, let's have a look at some of these texts. On using the media, Anthony Byrne. Give me a sec. I'm just dealing with Nick McKenzie from The Age and about to destroy a guy's career. On former Labor power broker and Senator Sam Dastyari. Dastyari is such a crooked, corrupt F.K. I was with Mackenzie last Monday. He's obviously got a pretty good relationship with Nick, who, of course, is an absolute gun. Now, on retribution for a Labor operative, because if she mucks you up, I will make sure she guest stars in the next Four Corners Hatchet job on China, which I will be on. Watch her. She's a rat F.K. Now, on Jamila Rizvi, who's on the front page of the Oz. Do you know Jamila Rizvi? She worked for Rudd and Gillard and was close to Kate Ellis, spelt with an A. Sick. Adam Somurak, they are F.King, useless. They are rabid lefties. The seat perfect for them if they keep putting losers up. She's an awful piece of work. He refers to Jamila Rizvi. She would hate what moderates in Labor stood for. Maddie, I'm not going to go any further because this is just a cracking yarn.
Look, it's a great story. There's no doubt about that, Gleeso. It's salacious stuff. It makes for great reading. It'll be the best read story in the country tomorrow. There's no doubt about that, just like it is today. And I think it proves the old adage true that if you want a friend in politics, well, it's best to get a dog. I will say a couple of things, though, perhaps almost in Anthony Byrne's defence. I mean, I'm not sure that anyone would survive if their mobile phone was handed over and someone was able to basically go through and reveal all of the perhaps disparaging text messages they might have sent about their colleagues over a 4 or 5 year period. And in some respects, I think on some of these levels, you'd have to agree, Gleeso, given some of the conversations we've had here over the past 12 to 14 months since the 2019 election, that on some of these issues, Anthony Byrne was probably on the money. When he talks about the Labor moderates and how they were being infected by the Green Left and people like Jamila Rizvi, perhaps if they'd listened to the advice of people like Anthony Byrne, they might not have got the hiding that they got in the 2019 election in Queensland. So, I mean, I know that the headline story from all of this is going to be, you know, these salacious texts, the fact that Anthony Byrne was white-handing some of his colleagues. You know, it's something that happens in politics. I think there's another story here as well, though, as to the conflict that's occurring within the Labor Party, has been for some time and continues to occur today between, you know, the moderates, those in the centre of the Labor Party, those who are trying to keep the party in the centre, the place where Bob Hawke had the party, where Paul Keating had the party, and those who, since the Rudd-Gillard era, have been trying to drag the party further and further to the left. And you've seen the disastrous consequences for Labor of that played out most notably in the 2019 election.
Mate, I reckon it's like the movie Goodfellas. I mean, some of the treachery, vengeance, the way in which Byrne has gone after certain people, the way in which the Labor Party's reacted. I mean, this goes right to the top of the ALP in this country. I mean, this is going to cause Albanese heartburn. I mean, you know, we had the ridiculous situation earlier in the week where Teflon Dan Andrews woke up Monday morning and said, I don't know much about it, other than the fact that, you know, all of a sudden there was branch stacking going on just about in every branch in Victoria, and now we've seen 3 cabinet ministers who have lost their positions. So, look, I think it goes to the heart of what Labor does. And Steve Bracks, who's a very decent guy and obviously a very talented guy, you know, he's going to have his work cut out here, Matt, being able to determine how he's going to reform this process.
Well, and even if he's able to reform it, Gleeso, I mean, this sort of stuff has, you know, the revelations this week have been, you know, absolutely damning. There's no doubt about that. You know, what we saw in 60 Minutes on Sunday night with Adam Somyurek, you know, some of that stuff is just, people would just shake their heads. And it's the sort of stuff where people go, well, this is why, you know, I just tune out from politics, and I don't like politics, and I don't like politicians. It's absolutely outrageous, the stuff that we've seen, you know, play out this week. Whether you can reform it or not, I mean, it's so ingrained, particularly in the Labor Party. I mean, there's some of it goes on the Conservative side of politics as well. But, you know, there are people who exist, you know, people who get into politics, I think, for the wrong reasons. And those people get into politics just because they're hungry for power, and then the minute they get their foot in the door, you know, they just want to play the power games. And usually these are people who have done nothing else in their life, so they've just, you know, come up through, you know, the young Labor or whatever, got a job in a parliamentarian's office, and then all they know is the game of politics and, you know, basically how to play this game of, you know, one-upmanship. Rather than people getting into politics for the reasons that you would hope they would, and perhaps the reasons that they did once upon a time, which was because they had a view of the world or a view of the country, a view of how they saw the country developing, and they wanted to help, you know, shape the country in that way. But in this situation, I think a lot of these people, they're just there for themselves, they're just there for the power.